You got it, RHUC. That's for the newcomers, because somebody has been on my. Okay, so once I get done doing this, I'm gonna be on hiatus for about 6 months when this shit blow. While I'm on hiatus, I'm gonna download all my content on Facebook and Instagram. I gotta fight them for my other page that they closed just to get the content. Each one of them posts is gonna be a pamphlet, so you see with the timestamp and date and where it was posted at. All that's gonna be in there because a lot of people don't know the level of receipts I had to produce to be able to talk to people like I'm talking to them now. I had to prove to a whole lot of people that I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Because if I can't prove it, and I'm telling y'all that the most traumatic thing I've discovered was the white man ain't white. That fucked me up. The black nobility.
Yeah, so imagine about somebody who doesn't have the knowledge.
But the whole point being is they come in on the news, they never know how traumatic that was, because some of the people was watching when I made the final link on the video back in 2018. Right? Then I got to hesitate how I handle the Moors, because it's a bunch of good dudes that went in there to overthrow those motherfuckers playing their game. Right? But now, that's their paradigm. That's their new Moorish paradigm now. So now, the only remedy is Angel Bay, clean out the dirty Moors, and then re-educate the righteous Moors, right? That's the only remedy, without throwing out the bathwater, the baby, and the bathtub, right? So we just want to throw out the dirty water. Them motherfuckers is in every organization, but when you watch when this shit come out, because somebody said, Rob, we need to know the organizations they running today. They've infiltrated every motherfucking lodge, every religious organization, every political organization, every educational organization, especially those that they call higher learning. Because by keeping you out of the schools of higher learning, they can keep you under the income umbrella. The income umbrella was designed that we never come above a certain socioeconomic level. This is why they bombed Black Wall Street. This is why they bombed Rosewood. Was a whole fucking Black Wall Street down there. They trying to tell us it's about black man whistle or raped some white girl, and then they went on a murderous mob rage and burnt down the city or some shit. That's bullshit. They was economically self-sufficient in Rosewood, just like they were in Black Wall Street in Tulsa. All they did was the same thing. They met up with the motherfuckers from Tulsa, where we call Atlanta today, when they left. Because they understood the nature of warfare. And the nature of warfare is, anytime your enemy run you out of somewhere, find where your allies at. This is why so many Floridians and Oklahomans in goddamn Atlanta. If they start tracing their bloodline, they're going to be fucked up. They was organic. They didn't want the tribes flourishing. We was in a warlock. That's why all of the money is fiat. Ain't backed by nothing.
Yeah.
It's monopoly money.
It's all fake currency. Yeah. It's literally faith. People just believe in it. That's what full faith and credit means.
I ain't got no faith in credit, because credit equals motherfucking debt, and debt is slavery.
Yeah. Work employment is slavery, even by definition.
Yeah. Well, they have a book that gives you legal terms. It was called Ipsum Sui Juris. And the term, the difference between an employee and a slave is wages. That's the difference. That's what the whole idea or concept of minimum wage came from. Anybody make less than minimum wage is automatically recognized as involuntary servitude or slavery. Right? That's why you have to be a child to get paid less than minimum wage, and they trick the motherfucking servers in some of these restaurants and bars because your tips don't post account.
Yeah.
Melchizedek is a title. It means my angel, the just one. That's Malachi York. Sui juris, that means, yep, of the rightful ones, or of the rightful jurisdiction.
Yeah.
But the book is like sui juris ipsum or ipso sui juris. But this was the terms in early American law. See, a lot of us haven't read none of the law books, so we don't know that a lot of times in colonial America, the lawyer was the chief of a clan that came in, and he didn't even argue the case. He argued the standing of the court in order to hear the case. That's why a lot of the early American law books are only at certain law libraries, like the one in D.C. or the one in the state capitol. Right? When you start going back to early American law, go back to cases between the Confederacy and the Union, where they were suing each other. And it was natives with feathers that was overseeing the court as the judge. We don't know nothing about that because we don't have access to those books unless we go to those law libraries. And those law libraries, you have to be a barrister to get in. And I just like telling my people where they had their shit at.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's it. I've really been getting into law recently. Studying syntax, obviously, looking at the Constitution and all the American contracts, and realizing that they don't say anything because their format is adverb verb syntax. So, like, when you read it, it's actually just babbling.
Yeah, well, the first thing that you have to understand is something in law called style and title. That's how it got to be wrote. If it's not written according to the proper style and title, it's not the person they claiming to be. And that's how I discovered the fraud, because the Constitution of Michigan, it had right in there the style and title. And then when I pulled out my court documents, nothing was in the style and title proper. That immediately, that's immediately identifying the fraud at its source.
And fraud negates all contracts. So at the moment there's one piece of fraud, it's null and void.
Yeah. And that's the same thing I use to cancel all of the contracts from the position of a chief that's the de jure, right? Non-performance and fraud. Because they never honored any of the contracts they signed, and they signed them all under false pretense.
Mm-hmm. And they're complicit
right.
in fraud.
And that's
so
why I tell everybody that if you don't want to be party to the fraud, you have to abandon the contract. And the only way to abandon the contract is anything that uses your straw man name, don't participate in it. So, like your job, you had to do a W-4 or W-2 or 1099. All of those is contracts tying you to the system. Soon as you realize the fraud, you abandon the contract. That way that the fraudster that wrote the contract trying to enforce it gets caught red-handed trying to enforce the contract. And that immediately gives you everything that he stole from you back because you didn't know you was in the fraud. The defense in the court of law is called the abandonment defense. Me and you could be going somewhere together. I don't know what you're finna do. But right before you go in the store, you about to rob. You say, hey, bro, I'm about to rob this store. I said, man, I don't want no parts of that. I go home, you go rob the store. They arrest us both. Yeah, I ain't got nothing to say. You ain't got nothing to say. My lawyer come up, be like, look, man, I told that motherfucker I want nothing to do with it. He said, cool. I went home. He went and did what he did. And then your lawyer going, man, my man ain't had nothing to do with it. He went home. I went and robbed the store. Right, then your lawyer gonna talk to my lawyer and say, "Hey, well, what is this called? This is called the abandonment defense for your client, but for my client, we have to sever the case, or that's gonna make him look worse." Right, so that's how you strategize in law. The abandonment defense is to protect the person who doesn't know they're being used as a cat's paw to crime to give him an out. Somebody's finna bring you into a criminal act, and you don't want to participate. You got to have a way. Once you discover there's criminal activity going on, this is the abandonment clause the act. Once you realize what's going on, I don't want nothing to do with that, right? And you just, yeah,
Yeah, right of
you
rescission.
got to know how to protect yourself. Yep.
What you do you know anything about the laws of
Boxing?
boxing? Yeah, like it's like an unspoken agreement. Like anything in a box technically can exist
Oh no, that's a construct, right?
when it's on
So
paper.
you're talking about the where at the top where it put the box around the defendant and the yeah. Those are called
Yeah,
I forgot the name for them to put them in there. So basically, what it is when they take you into court, you're only a thumb drive. You don't really have anything to do with anything going on in the courtroom. Everybody's a barrister but you. Automatic conflict of interest. Not just a conflict of interest, but it's a irreconcilable conflict of interest because anybody that comes to defend your interest has to be a bar member. And all bar members' first motherfucking
yeah,
fiduciary duty is to the bar, which overrides any duty to you. So now you're caught in a conundrum. You
yeah. They
can't.
all
There's
work for the
nothing you
crown.
can do to be part and party to this action because there's no way you can participate in this action without a bar member.
Yeah. Anytime anyone gets signed over to jail, your lawyer or your attorney has to sign off on you to even go. Them, the judge, and the clerk. And the clerk has the most
Yeah, the
power out
clerk
of
is a
every
bar
person.
member too, and the clerk is the one who holds the lien because it's a lien in the courtroom every time you go in there. That's what your file is. Your file has a lien in it, and that lien in
Yes.
that file, you are the thumb drive or the evidence. That's all you is evidence in court. A thumb drive. Well, I got 9 seconds remaining. I'm probably gonna come back on for an hour. So if y'all watching,
lot of women are stuck in that situation. I just saw something play out over the last couple of weeks. When he was in Costa Rica or wherever on my radio show back then, and so just to see the involvement in control, that women would subject themselves to. There was no big mama teaching them what you take and don't take. How you don't do that, dear. Maybe you
that's
don't.
how we get. That's how we get caught up in cults.
And yeah.
We get caught up in cults because we don't want to listen to Big Mama.
So someone was saying that. Are you saying that Noble Drew Ali was incorrect calling us Moorish Americans?
We was being called Moorish Americans by the enemy already. He had to tell us how to get back to our organic status. He got to write a blueprint, a step-by-step codified blueprint that's heavily coded so that when one of the chiefs decoded, it could tell us how to get out of the trap without getting our heads bit off.
So when he said that, I mean, would that go right hand in hand even with using what seemed like the church model initially? Because a lot of the folks that he was appealing,
his original model wasn't the church model.
Well, weren't there a lot of people coming out of the church, from the church into this movement?
Right, but it's still what the model wasn't the same as the church model. The original model of the Moorish Science Temple was predicated up on a fraternity, like a college fraternity, a brotherhood. Because in the system that we had superimposed on us, the only way where we can operate is we had to form a brotherhood with secret rituals, right? And once he established that, that's what you call the establishment of the adept chambers. But the adept chambers is not in a building; it's in the public domain.
Really?
Because he put all of the secrets out in the open so that the chiefs across the land can read them. You got to go back to his history to know where he got the secrets from. He got the secrets from the Moorish Zionist temple in New Jersey, who was the dirty Moors behind the dirt that was being done to our people.
So that is this prior to him forming the MSTA, right?
Yep. Yep. They used the 6-point star on a red flag. So he used the 5-point star on the red flag. They formed or they split up into two organizations that we think are pale skin organizations, but they're not. One is called the Anti-Defamation League, the ADL, and the other one is the JDL. League is a paramilitary group, and they wear fezzes, and some of them grand sheiks in temples.
But again, it looks like they have others out in front that don't look like them and don't look like us that we think.
Okay, this is an open letter to the CEOs of the big three, Pope Francis, and a message to Trump about the wall. So I'm gonna see if I can do some invites before I get into this. Listen, people see I'm on live. See where it goes from there. All right, I'm winding this down to some people that wanted to be sure that they heard what I had to say about this subject matter. So basically, I'm gonna start with the big three. But before I get into that, for a reference, I will request them to ask whoever they think they need to ask to verify what I'm about to tell them. And this is what I'm about to tell them. The big three and the common worker is at the forefront of a new age. So, before we get started, I want to go into a little bit about being the Prince of Peace, the Crown Prince of Peace. What does that mean, and how does that affect me addressing Chrysler, Ford, and General Motors, me addressing Pope Francis, and me addressing the President of the United States? And it goes directly to this. By legend, I am the Holy Grail, the last of the Grail Kings, the Spear of Destiny, the Sun Grail, the Holy Grail, the Holy Blood, that which was concealed through time and traveled over distance in order to escape the persecution and the resistance of the wicked. So, being Morpheus Mysticus Magus, emissary of light, redeemer of the righteous, condemner of the wicked, I begin with stating my authority from the highest heavens, being that I speak from the Galactic Council seat in the heavens, seat number 50. On earth, I am the crown prince of heaven and earth, to be crowned King of Kings and Lord of Lords by Christ herself. That being said, I am heir apparent to all property on earth. I have the first claim of right to both depose and restore whole entire royal families. I have been authorized to restructure and rebuild any and all rogue priesthoods.
In the process of this, I've also been instructed to seek a fair and balanced recompense for the righteous as we make a transition into a better era. When we speak of a better era, we speak of the Aquarian age. Having done my due diligence, having done my research, having been raised and passed by masters, I have been selected. Being selected doesn't only require that you do your due diligence. It also requires that you have the blood of the Holy Grail, which means that I ain't the only one with the blood. There's more of us with the blood. So now you get to understand why the exercising of blood rights. So my address to the big three is this. May the 1st, you have an option. You will give the people the chance to have the Prince of Peace delegate their contract for them. It will be held at Lake Orient because the prophecy says that the Son of Man must rise out of Orient. And therefore, May the 1st, which is the International Day of the Worker, from that day forward, will be the day that Ford, Chrysler, and GM CEOs will converge on Lake Orient in order to answer the workers. If the workers so choose to have the Prince of Peace represent them and speak on their behalf according to the conditions and the suffrage of the worker. Having been a worker, I understand the struggle of the worker. I have walked with workers, talked with workers, and endured the same suffering, struggles, and indignations as any other worker. I understand the problem that the worker has clearly as a worker. I understand the problem that the worker has in relation to the company from the position of the worker. So, being in any confusion amongst any other CEOs as to the validity of what I'm telling you, I am instructing you to call your Pentagon, your CIA, your FBI, your DEA, your Mossad, your Pope, call your royal families. They all know I'm here. They all know what I'm here for. And they all know I'm finna set the record straight. So the CEOs have an option. They can either allow the people the opportunity to have the Prince of Peace negotiate their contracts or go with the standard status quo of recession contracts by the international representatives of the workers' union. That being said, we move on to Pope Francis. I want anybody who know a reporter to put this on the wire to ask Pope Francis to answer to this. Pope Francis, you will have approximately till May the 5th to have your pedophile priests organized in exiting the entire Catholic papacy. This is a direct order from heaven. You have no option in this matter. This is a direct order. You will take your pedophile priests. You will leave with no assets. You will leave with nothing. You will seek work and employment until such time as the people or the Christ figure out a fit judgment for your entire rogue, pedophile, imposter priesthood. You already know I was going to send this message. You've been waiting on it, and everybody else has been waiting on it as well. So you have until May the 5th to have your pedophile priests return the priesthood back to the noon priestesses and restore the Black Madonna as the prime seat in the papacy, as it was before you came and your predecessors, before you falsely claimed the right to the souls of the people of earth and all of the land and the souls of the people that roam the land. For these indiscretions, you have no further standing in the church at all. And the next thing we go to Trump and the wall. For those who don't understand why Trump really wanted the wall built, there's a couple documents you need to visit. You will visit the Readiness Exercise 1984. It was written by Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North shortly before the Iran-Contra. Iran-Contra exposed Readiness Exercise 1984, which was the program to exterminate African Americans in America at such time of crisis. But that's not the part about the wall. In that exercise, there is a subsection. It's called Operation Cable Splicer or Operation Cable Cutter. And in there, it warns about a mass exodus at the Mexican border, 1984. This is when Ronald Reagan was president, and this is before Donald Trump ever anticipated running in this election. And so we already see that the wall was already scheduled to be in place to prevent this exodus. But this is the part of the exodus that they don't tell you. That Cinco de Mayo is not a mythological day. Cinco de Mayo is a reminder to the people of where we call Mexico, Central American region, on into southwestern United States. It's the reminder that in the final days, if the beast refuse to surrender the power to the Prince of Peace, that he will march the dead on Cinco de Mayo, May the 5th, the Day of the Dead. All Hallows Eve last year, all souls had been collected from the underworld. There are none left. So there's plenty of room for all of the imposters. Plenty of room. And there's a lot of time you can spend there. It's already been evacuated. She already went and got her kids that y'all held hostage by false pretenses. So, I don't really care if y'all take me serious or not, because I came to test some shit up. But she told me to save as many as I could before the destruction ensues. So, in trying to save as many as I can, and in staying with the protocols of war, exhausted all means of diplomacy, we have options to avert catastrophe on Earth. We don't have to have a bloody and gory transition as prophecy has told would happen, because the victory in heaven has already been won. So the only thing left is the change of power on earth for the people to see that this is already etched in stone. This cannot be changed. This will not be undermined. So anybody that can get this into the public domain, if you want to know if I'm serious and you want to know who to ask, who is this guy who called himself the seventh sun rising in America, telling the Pope to get off the throne, saying he's the crown prince of heaven and earth, and that he will be coronated in the Congo as the king? You can ask the Dalai Lama. He'll tell you who I am. You can ask Siddharth, what's his name? Siddharth Guru. He'll tell you who I am. You can ask your government officials And they can tell you as well. I've spoken with agents from Central Intelligence already. They already came to ask, how did I want to resolve the contract issue? I want to resolve the contract issue with the big three by allowing the people to hold their destiny in their hands. And from this point, we will be able to come to an equitable agreement between the company and the workers. We don't worry about a threat of overseas activity because I will close their doors in China. I will close their doors in Mexico. It's not a problem. They will not use overseas as a threat in order to push further concessions upon the worker. There is a program laid out. There's a program laid out, and it's still in development for the May 1st Workers' May Day. So I'm not going to drag this out. I just wanted to get this information out in the public domain. Pope Francis got to May the 5th before he started seeing adverse reactions in his priests around the world. The plagues of heaven will be unleashed on their ass if they don't start getting out of there. And if you think I'm playing, when they get the word, they will get to moving because they already knew I was going to give the order. There's some more orders that must be given in the cleanup. But those are different orders for a different day. As for now, this is how it is. So from the Prince of Peace, the Crown Prince of Heaven and Earth, this is the order for the day. And we're going to get this cleaned up with as little bloodshed as possible. So I'm going to leave y'all with that. And I hope y'all ignore me so I can start calling some shit y'all ain't never seen out of places y'all never knew existed in order to set these people straight. So don't panic. If you righteous, they not going to bother you. But if you part of the chain of the wicked, you will be food for the beast. Trust me on this one. And I'll leave y'all with that, and I hope y'all enjoy.
Called the old guys of the Badoon, the Orisha. The only motherfuckers that got any control over this shit. No matter what condition they put the people in, we gon' figure this shit out if you call us. This is why they kept telling people don't use voodoo. All voodoo is making your ancestors that's capable of changing your condition manifest in human form. Once they manifest,
Y'all ain't had no problem doing that ancestor money.
once they manifest in human form, they listen to the music, art, and the entertainment in order to extract the problem. Because the problem is going to come out as a blues song, so to speak, a sad song. And you listen to the sad song, and you one of the old guys, it gives you the understanding. You get to calibrate to the actual problem itself so that you can rise above it. Right? So in the constant wailing of the people, you know, the continuous lamentations, as they say in biblical terminology, and the call upon the ancient ones to return to order to resolve the matter, somebody knew how to call us. Right? So when Garvey say, come back with the millions of ancestors, I'm going to give you the math, and I'm going to see if you can keep up, because it's real complicated.
Don't look it up, you cheat.
Listen, 1 represent 1,000. 2 represent 10,000. Right? 3 represent 1,000,000. And if if 3 people on the same page, they aware who they are in their ancestral line, you got 1,000,000 ancestors with 3 people agreeing. If it's a righteous cause. Now, let's say all three of y'all on some bullshit and ancestors know it. You got a million motherfuckers that don't mean you no good that's going to be back in your play. Because all our ancestors wasn't no motherfucking good motherfuckers, or they wouldn't have sold us the fuck out. So now, the ones that sold us out, the motherfuckers they sold us to, the motherfuckers that motherfuckers gonna have to break this shit down and give us our shit. They're gonna have to give. If y'all don't think I'm 99% and y'all don't think I'm 100, don't support this shit. Y'all gotta think I'm 100. Y'all gotta know it. 100. 99 not good enough. 99 not good enough. Remember that. I'm telling y'all, 99% is not good enough. Yeah, we create our individual hell based off the information given. Okay, let me explain it to you like this. If you learn how to build a hut, excuse me, but if you learn how to build a hut and a mansion is two different things. But you learn how to build a hut in the forest. You can build shelter, right? But ain't no running water in that motherfucker. Ain't no motherfucking toilets in there. And what we accustomed to now, to try to live in that manner, that regression is what creates our hell. That going back to a condition of ignorance that was before the knowledge came. Now the knowledge is here. If we was to neglect the knowledge and ignore it, then we just gonna trap ourselves right back in hell. It's here. I'm telling y'all, I got all the signs. It's an open child. Anybody want me to show them who the fuck I am? I don't have no problem. I can show any one of them. The keys of my kingdom is being held hostage because they holding my family back. So y'all understand this is what this shit is all about. Breaking up the family, divide and conquer, crushing the empires by destroying the royal families. I done found them and redeemed them. I did my part. Right? So, what they telling you is the hell you create is the hell you was given and you accepted it to live in. But you didn't create it. You accepted it. That's why it's your hell, because you accepted it. Yeah, I know you was trying to call a player, but I was in the middle of this and I didn't expect to do this. Mama popped me out at 1 o'clock in the morning to do this talk right here for the sisters. So this is for the sisters. So, any one of you sisters that get the instructions from Portia can pass them to any sister that you think is about the right shit. You don't want to put no slimy traitor chicks in here. You don't want none of them. All you want is ones that's solid, that's 100. And their race don't matter. Don't fall into that divide and conquer ass bullshit among the women. We already doing it among the men. So we don't need that among the women. When they see y'all united, then they're going to have to be forced to unite, or because they're not going to be able to have no action jumping off no other way. So, I wasn't even 10 for this sucker to start getting this intense. I feel the energy rising. Look, the ether getting lower. It's getting the cloud. You see it getting lower. I wasn't expecting none of that, you know. But you know, when you follow the instructions, you never know what you're gonna get. Look at it. You see it? You see how it's starting to come down here now? First, the shadow was way up there. Now you can barely see my hand here. Now, you know, it's coming closer. So, if it come down a little more, I'm going to have to go in meditation because I might be about to get some more downloads. Keep y'all sisters intact. Keep them on their toes. Follow the instructions. It ain't going to hurt you. It ain't going to cost you a dime, and it's not going to physically cause you any pain. All it's going to do is make these motherfuckers run for cover because they know that we didn't return. The angels have returned. Ain't no doubt about it. They seen that video earlier where I went through the signs. I didn't even read all the signs on the papers in the notes where I could have even went deeper. You know? So, I don't know what I'm going to be doing in the morning. I don't know how long she going to allow me to be immortal and pretend to be like I'm sleeping.
so I can look like everybody else. I don't know how long that shit gonna last, but she tell me to get my ass up and go make something happen and tell the people this or that or something else. So I'm gonna say this again because this must be the purpose of it, because that's the only thing keep coming to mind. All the sisters just tired of the bullshit, fed up, and ready for it to be over and ready to go back to how we was before these invaders came and upset the peace on earth. Portia got the instructions. You can pass them to any woman that's about the right thing. Her age don't matter, her race don't matter. Long as it's a woman, and as long as she about the right shit and she want this shit to end, give her the information, let her participate. We ain't gonna hold none of them back. All of y'all got a chance to shine. Everybody just do their part. You don't have to do no extra shit. You don't have to go no out of your way to do no shit. You don't got to take nobody across town. You don't have to pick nobody up. You don't have to go meet no new strange people at the airport. You ain't got to go to no churches, no mosques, no synagogue. We can solve this shit on social media in about 48 hours or less. All that video had to do is go viral. All that motherfucking post had to do is go viral. When they realize that I'm not bullshitting when I tell them, I know how to break the chains. Soon as the sisters start understanding that they have me bound to the temple, I can't leave the temple. Every time I try to leave, I have to come back because I'm not leaving with freedom. I'm leaving bound. I'm bound to an oath. And if the other person doesn't reciprocate the oath, then I can find somebody who can reciprocate the oath and allow me to come out of the temple and execute this motherfucking liberation. I ain't finna be tied down to nothing and nobody. Ain't no chains can hold this motherfucker down. They didn't put me in the dirt. They didn't kill me. They didn't did everything they can do. They ain't nothing left these motherfuckers can do to me they have not already done. They can't do nothing else to me. It's my turn. All the sisters gotta do, make that shit hot. So y'all got it. Y'all know what to do. It's not even hard. They don't think y'all gonna do it. They think y'all gonna not be perceptive of the signs being read on live in front of your face. Broke down so clear, it's like you fucking watching the TV movie for real. But this shit is real life in real time. So, heat that motherfucker up. Get every motherfucking female you got on social media to participate that is about the right thing. Now, I'm going to leave this right here. And I'm going to say thank you, Portia, for playing your position, holding down your motherfucking role. They going to see what's up in a minute. Soon as this shit take off, they going to see. And I appreciate you, and I appreciate what you do. Keep up the good work. We all got to keep up the good work, and we all got to do our part. Every one of us. And if you don't want to do your part, and if you feel like you entitled to be a part of the hereafter without doing your part, you sadly mistaken your ass going with the rest of them sorry, rotten, low-life motherfuckers, because they're not staying here. If they stay here, I'm telling you now, I'm going to grind they fucking ass up in a big-ass human blender. The biggest fucking human blender I can get made. I'm going to get that motherfucker made. And all these self-righteous, greedy, self-centered, rotten, no good, sick-minded motherfuckers that feel like they entitled to some shit they don't earn. I'm going to blend their ass up and feed their ass to the fish that they so haphazardly slaughter at random like we don't feel for the fish. It's one thing if you're going to eat the fish and respect the food product that you eat. But when you don't have no respect for the food you're putting in your temple, that shows you the respect for your temple. And when you ain't got no respect for your temple, you become part of the infidels. You become part of the Kafaroon and the Munafikun. You deserve death. That's just the way it is. So I'm only relying right now on the sisters. The brothers got a different mission. The brothers got a different mission. They got to fall back and let y'all do y'all part. Soon as y'all do y'all part, they automatically know what to do. They automatically, it's wired on their DNA. I wrote the shit. I wrote the code. It's in binary code. On the DNA, in the helix. They know what to do when the women stand up. All these niggas gonna stop being bitch asses. Ain't gonna be no more bitch assness. And all of the niggas that want to remain bitches gonna be treated like a man bitch by a badass woman that probably got abused over multiple lifetimes by a bunch of rotten motherfuckers. Now she get to get her payback. I'm just saying. So they gonna either step up or step off. Those are the two positions they have. And I didn't expect to have any viewers on this, but I appreciate y'all picking up at 1 o'clock in the morning when y'all seen me on, and hopefully we can get this message across to the sisters. And if you know some that don't got a social media page, and you think that they need to be on there, set them one up, help them out, help your sister out. You know, be your sister's keeper. They told y'all to not like each other and that y'all should have various reasons not to do so. I'm telling y'all that if y'all click up together and that mitochondrial connection take place, this shit is over with. Mother Earth wake up, they ass gonna run for cover. Because between the two of us, we done whooped them motherfuckers' ass since from day one. From day one. So, keep your focus. Keep your attention on the prize. Don't let them trick you with their fake money schemes. The money about to collapse. The only way that the money is gonna be artificially held in place by executive order until the transition is over, in order to maintain the integrity of the system, so that the people don't lose everything they worked for to this point, and we don't have a 1929 situation. So look, it worked like this. A temporary solution should be used temporarily. A permanent solution should be used permanently. In the interim, when you're going from the temporary solution that is in place to the permanent system to come, you have to have an artificially fixed system. That means you have to lock it in place where it can neither rise nor fall. You have to freeze it. Once you freeze it, business go about as normal in the overall community. And only the motherfuckers behind the scenes have to adjust and balance the economics. Only the ones behind the scenes adjust and balance the economics. So it don't affect the masses of the people, but it's a temporary fix until the stability is established with the new system. It's a temporary fix. So their system is going to fall, but there's a method. And I know the method, and I got to give it openly when Donald Trump asks for it. There's a method to artificially hold the system locked in place that's legal, according to their current system, that doesn't interfere with the transition to our returning system. And this artificial system is like building a bridge from a sinking boat onto a stable island. The bridge is going to sink after the boat. The bridge going to sink, but the boat's going to have to sink first. So we put the bridge in place to get everybody off the boat, so that when the boat sink and the bridge collapse, everybody's on safe ground. There's a method of economic stability along them lines. But if I can't compensate these fucking workers and let these motherfuckers mistreat them like they trying to do, then I'm not going to artificially maintain any systems. I'm going to let it all fall down. If you're going to mistreat the workers, then there's no sense of having this shit in play. Now, I said that it's 1:30 in the morning. I didn't know why she wanted me on here. And it seemed like I'm doing pretty good to me. Hopefully y'all feel the same. But I'm going to check out here. And I'll talk to y'all in a couple of hours when we wake up on the flip side of the open gate. Because the gate will be open at 3 a.m. Y'all know what time it is. 3 a.m. Lions Gates open. Then Daniel, the judge of God, is in the lion's den. I'm in that bitch. I will not be devoured by lions. I'm unfuckwittable. Understand me? They already know. So, with that, I'm going to say peace.
It's going to put the enmity or the animosity between the seed of her and him.
Right.
What just happened? Do we know what just took place? This is what they call undermining the matriarch in order to place a patriarch in her position. So you see it come out as in the mother helping the son steal the other son's birthright. In the case of Esau, Jacob was given a coat so that he could deceive his blind father. Now remember, the father blind, but the mother not. Because the mother can see, she can deceive the father because the father can't see. Now, let's go to the next time it happened. The next time it happened was, let's see, Esau and Jacob. Then, before that, it was Ishmael and Isaac. Isaac was the one who became the father of the Israelites. Ishmael became the father of the Ishmaelites, or the Midianites, who are today called Muslims and Chaldeans. Mm-hmm. Chaldeans are Christian converts, but they still Ishmaelites. And so if you look, when Jacob and Esau was being born, Jacob tried to grab Esau by the ankle, right? Mm-hmm. Now, in the New Testament, it say that when the seed of the woman encountered the seed of the serpent, one should grab the other by the heel. So it's telling you right there, who is the serpent, the underminer? What does the name Jacob mean? Jacob means supplanter, one who undermines or goes under the roots of something in order to replace it. It digs up the root in order to replace it. That's to undermine something. Absolutely right, Achilles' heel. Mm-hmm. Now, when you understand that that's what Jacob means, but they changed his name to Israel. But do we know what the name Israel really means? It's a three-part word, Isis, Ra, and El. Right. It's incorporating two Egyptian deities into a Hebrew pantheon by attaching the El to the end of it. It is the uniting of divine feminine into the divine masculine in order to become a divinity within the self. Okay, so now we understand now a little clearer how the story has been distorted. That God that you talk about in the Old Testament was a wrathful, vengeful God. Right. He ain't right. He ain't right, because he's going to tell his people, thou shalt not kill, right? Mm-hmm. You turn around and you tell Joshua, go in there and kill every single thing living, spare not a soul, including the animals. That is a blatant, direct contradiction to his own word. Why would you send somebody to kill after you told them not to? Right. That God cannot be trusted. Now, in the Old Testament, it told you flat out, God is not a man that he should lie, nor the son of man that he should repent. Now, he just told you that God is not a man nor a son. What the hell is he then? If he ain't a man and he ain't a son, what is he? Or are we using the right pronoun to describe God? If he's not a man that he can lie, and he's not the son of man that he should repent, what do the New Testament say about it? The New Testament say, these people draw near to me with their heart, with their mouth, but their hearts are far from me, for they teach us commandment, the doctrine of men. Now, there's two ways we can look at that. There's an Egyptian deity named Men, spelled M-I-N, which is part of the flipped grid that we under that allow the black goo to remain fixed and placed over the heart chakra. It becomes weakened because it's held in place. The grid is held in, the artificial grid is held in place by something called the Dark Night satellite. It has a north-south, the only satellite in existence that has a north-south orbit. A north-south orbit. It is solar powered. And right now, at the close of the age, we are experiencing something called a maximum solar minimum. What that means is the sun, out of all of the energy it produced in the history of its life, because it's switching from a step down to a step up transformer. The grid on Earth going to have to flip, and the women got to do it in a particular manner. We have to flip the grid. So when they say the doctrine of men, we talking about Shu-Men resonance, the electromagnetic field that they call Shu-Men. Shu is a sky deity, Men is a sex deity, both male in aspect, which is the wrong vibration for Earth. It's the wrong vibration for Earth. Earth is a feminine planet. If you look at the animals,
see the trap, we can see the dirty parties. All we got to do is don't take sides in the motherfucking shit, and we can see it clear. But they teach you to take a side. No, they ain't slow. They talking about paperwork, Rashida, because they slave catchers. The ones who's trying to compel people to do the work, they not, some of them not even conscious that they slave catching because they believe that bullshit so much. You can believe John Legend wife had miscarriages if you want to. I don't know how that nigga had a miscarriage. But that's another story for another time. All these cross-dressing ass drag queen motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck if they on here now or not. They slave catchers, they slave catchers. Ain't nothing I can do but tell the truth. The system is a paper chain. The system is a legal fiction, a corporation. The United States is a corporation. Each state is a corporation. England, London own the copyright to all law being executed in America. England, London own the copyright to all of the law books. Why? Because they own the law through the barristers, and the barristers are the ones who lobby and argue law on the behalf of the barons. The barons are the land barons. They the ones who come by and trick you out your goddamn land and give you the Bible as a priest, right? And they gonna be slow as they want to be. Fuck them. I done already told them what it is, right? You go down there filing that paperwork. That's why all them Moors is in the federal prison for fraud right now. That's why they all in there for fraud, for filing that paperwork and then trying to assert their sovereign capacity under the pretense of the paperwork because it's a trick. I'm letting you know it's a trick. We don't need none of that shit because we from the land, we of the land, we walk in the land as free man, and all we got to do is acknowledge one another as free individuals and make it known by public notice that we do not consent to the artificial corporation running us. We don't have to file shit. Right. So any attorney is an esquire, and all esquires are esquires by letters patent because that's the title of nobility prohibited under the Constitution. Article 1 in 2 different spots. Look it up. Constitution prohibits the issuance of, and it's case law to show you the argument that they issue in order to prevent them from using the titles of nobility. And honorable is a title of nobility issued to the barrister by letters patent. And Esquire is also a title of nobility issued to the attorneys by the Crown of England under letters patent. It was first formed as the Bar Association in 1863 by King George III, and it was then given the initial charter, which was a patent to act on the behalf of the Crown in the dissemination and distribution of legal matters, which is the matters of the barristers' paperwork in order to calculate, maintain the books. The books is your ledgers, it's your invoices, it's your titles, and it's your deeds, right? So what do they do with our shit? Well, we had our own shit before they came. And Big Mama ran this bitch. And Big Mama said that put their ass on blast. So I don't want to hear nothing about no file, no paperwork. You can't file the paperwork with your enemy talking about you trying to get free. There is no logic in that shit. It matches no logic known to man. So these is the same motherfuckers that's been in the Bible story for 5,000 years, but the Bible is just the code in order to tell you who's doing it, because the real Bible is the Coptic Bible, and the Catholic Bible that we follow today in the Protestant Bible is the trickery Bible. Yeah, that's earlier in the video, Simone. You go back over it and catch it. I tried to get you in here. So all of this shit, going back to what Simone just asked me, is the orchestrated legal maneuvers of the Catholic Church by papal bull. And the papal bulls was the decree making public notice to the people of what the Roman Catholic Church was about to do. They was about to seize all your assets, declare you incompetent. As long as you believe in the Bible, you have to be. You have to be incompetent to continuously believe in your culture being inverted and dropped on your head. So therefore, he got the right to claim that you was an imbecile in law and to have the Crown of England commissioned as the ones who send the barristers to administer the rights of civilization in the white man's world under those who were his subjects as slaves, to administer their estates, because they are not functional and capable of understanding who they is. They ties to the land or they birthright. Therefore, the Catholic Church gonna just say, we're gonna hold this on to y'all and we're gonna live off of it. We ain't gonna keep it. We're just gonna hold it till y'all figure out what the problem is, and y'all ain't gonna never figure out the problem is, so we're gonna keep y'all enslaved forever until you figure it out. Well, if we figured it out, motherfucker, from coast to coast, we the most. We gonna figure this shit out. Big mama boys don't play. Right? And so once we got it all put together, we have to bring it out here and let y'all examine it for yourself. Right? So when I be telling y'all this shit, I don't be trying to prove nothing. I already didn't prove what it is. I done already posted the receipts. Now I'm redundant with this shit. I'm so redundant with it, I'm getting dizzy like I'm doing perpetual backflips. Right? Because they keep saying the same shit, file paperwork. I keep telling y'all the paperwork is fraud, because the fraud is tied to a fraudulent system, and they keep on doing this shit over and over again. And it's always somebody that come in and expose their hand as the dirty players in the game, because then they want to try to undercut some shit. Larry Hoover is the high chief on the land right now, the lead chief. He the lead chief because he had to sound the alarm to the other chiefs on the land that one of his tribesmen, me, discovered what the trap was, and we finna put this shit on the floor in public domain for the people to see it. Now that I'm putting it out there, I can go over that all of those charges is fabrications from COINTELPRO, and everything they accuse our leadership of doing, theirs was actually doing it, and they got caught. And Iran-Contra is the proof. In the paperwork, with the paper trail, following the money back to the government that's owned by the Jewish Defense League, that's owned by the ADL, that's owned by the Moorish Zionist Temple, the same motherfuckers that came over here as conquistadors after they got kicked out of Europe, the same motherfuckers that said that we crashed our landmass into their ship called the Plymouth, and so they took us to the International Tribunal to seize all our assets as hostile forces, and in order to get a ceasefire, because we wasn't going down without a fight, and we ain't never stopped fighting. Because when they challenged us to the Conjure War, we ain't had no choice, because they signed contracts with $5 Indians using the blood of the indigenous people of the land to tie them to the blood oath. This is what they did. Crispus Attucks, the first person to die, is whose blood they wrote the Constitution in. And the Constitution was in D.C. It's been seized. Everything in D.C. has been seized by the indigenous people in the land. But we can't even get this shit on the ball until enough of us realize how to become our own independent self. That's the holdup. There's too many of us that's not understanding how to assert their authority in the public domain. You're not putting your motherfucking stamp of approval on yourself. You still putting it on